Welcome to Military Miniatures magazine. In this issue, we are going to super detail an antique ROCO HO scale M4A1 75mm Sherman medium tank. While we will not be able to completely repair this weird M4A1 Sherman hybrid with horizontal volute spring suspension, the final result should be just fine for our wargaming purposes. First, we glued the hull to the chassis, removed the lug which normally holds these parts together, and filled the resulting cracks in the glacis armor plate. Then we added headlights cut from 1mm styrene rod and hull lifting rings made of 0.5mm brass wire. The bow machine gun is a short section of 0.3mm piano wire glued into a hole drilled into the hull armor plate in front of the radio operator's position. The Sherman's 75mm gun was drilled open with a 0.5mm micro drill, followed by a 0.8mm drill in the small scale. The tiny lifting eyes on the gun mantlet were made of recycled copper wire stripped from an old electric cable. Holes were drilled into the mantlet, the copper wire pushed through and glued to the inside of the gun mantlet. The machine gun was broken, so we had to drill the receiver open and insert a section of 0.6mm piano wire as the new barrel. While we were at it, we also added an ammunition box made of a 3.6mm section of 1.5 by 2mm styrene strip. The left rear turret lifting eye was made of a 0.5mm brass wire, again superglued from the inside of the turret. This 2mm square of plastic card is the armored cover of the ejection port for empty 75mm shell casings. The turret rear has a little stowage made of folded metal sheet cut from a tube of tomato paste. The missing straps may be made of thin plastic card or they are simply painted on later. Here is the third turret lifting eye, again made of brass wire. The ROCO Sherman comes without armored gas caps, so we had to drill holes into the hull and glue pinheads into them. This works really well and looks quite convincing once the tank is painted. Unfortunately, ROCO got the engine deck of this Sherman all wrong, so we had to hide the error under a clutter of stowage made of milliput and folded metal sheet. The rear lights are short sections of 1mm styrene rod, conveniently placed right next to hull lifting eyes. Tiny parts like these lights can easily snap off when the vehicle is handled, so having them clustered together like this is very helpful because the parts protect each other. The track guards on this tank are completely void of stowage, so we placed a couple of packs here to add interest. The vehicle rear sports a rack for jerry cans and more stowage, which conveniently hides the damage done to the hull rear when we remove the lug which holds hull and chassis together. Damage done to the rear flaps of both track guards is hidden underneath new flaps made of 0.2mm styrene sheet. And finally, the holes in the hull floor, where the carpet rollers of ROCO vehicles normally sit, were closed with styrene sheets scrounged from an old flower pot. We did not bother replacing the incorrect horizontal volute spring suspension of this unfortunate ROCO Sherman hybrid. Clearly, this ROCO model of the M4A1 75mm Sherman is not going to win any prestigious scale modeling awards, but it will be just fine for the wargame table. Thank you for watching. For more information, You're welcome to visit our website at miniatures.de.